Greetings and welcome to episode 253 of the Words About Games podcast, a weekly video game news and culture discussion podcast for Words About Games. I didn't mess that up. Not at all. I'm your host, Annie K. Alexander, and I'm joined this week by David Mooney.
It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means. But deep down, Amy, I have a problem. Like, I bought the Monster Hunter Rise controller, and it's like amazing and sexy and everything. And like, I have a problem.
You do have a problem.
But then I have another problem, Amy. As people might be able to see behind me, I want a couple of more Funko Pops.
Couple?
And I wasn't meant to go. What?
Couple?
A couple, yeah, maybe a couple, maybe four.
Maybe four. Maybe
Maybe
How many
four.
of them are the same character?
3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But no,
Admitting
it's great,
the
though.
first step.
Admitting it is the first step. Admitting you have a problem is the first step. So what's my problem again?
Don't worry about it.
I like you. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means. It's time for some sexy me and Amy time. That's all you need to know. Don't know why I'd said that. I'm going with it, though.
That got weird real quick.
Got really weird.
Like, at least last week, when it was Amy Unleashed, it took a while for it to get weird.
But it did go weird.
It did get weird eventually when we started looking up porn on someone's Twitter feed in a part of the podcast. That's when it got really weird.
Check that out on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk or on audio services of your choice, ladies and gentlemen.
Porn wasn't in the vid, obviously. And it was relevant, okay? Relevant to what we were talking about, which was Bowser's penis.
Well, yeah. I wasn't there, ladies and gentlemen. Say so. I took that day off because I had to drive someone somewhere. But I missed a hoot. It seems like it.
Yes, you watched it.
Yes, I did. I had to support my girls, so I gotta say that.
That's cool. Like, I'm grouchy tonight. Like, I've had a headache. I've been editing all day, but the control video is nearly finished. But while I had it on. While I had it going and I was editing and rendering and stuff, obviously I've got the monitor going with something I can watch in the background, which started off as Zac Efron's Earth Walk. I don't know what it's called.
Down to Earth.
That's the one. So, like, you know, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it annoyed me, but it was just like, oh, we're fucked as like a species. Like, so I was like, okay, I'm getting annoyed about climate change and people not acknowledging climate change and billionaires who could like help fix the climate and don't. Right, cool. I'm gonna just put YouTube. Like, I don't think anyone in the history of the world has been. This is annoying me. I'll go to YouTube. That'll help.
Yeah. You know what I watched last night? That C one on Netflix. Experience. No, is it C Experience or something or Seaspiracy or whatever. Yeah, that was that was a hard watch, especially at the end because I love whales, and so what he showed at the end was pretty gruesome.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Like, so yeah, so I'm mad about. I've got a headache brewing. I'm editing. I'm on a mission, so I've got to get this finished because, like, I know the obvious answer is just stop editing, Amy. Like, no, I can't. Like, it's been a long time. I don't need to get this done. So that's pissing me off. I'm getting a headache. I switched to YouTube. I'm like, I'll just put on a random YouTuber, and then I'll click on one of their videos, and I do this thing where it's like, if I want to watch just a random video from a YouTuber, like, you click on one of their videos, and then you click the next button a couple of times, and then it just pops up with something from their channel at random, determined by the algorithm. So I went on Lindsay Ellis's channel, clicked through the couple of times, and it was the Hobbit documentary. So I had the Hobbit documentary on in the background for an hour and a half. So now I'm pissed off about my headache, about editing all day, about Planet Earth, and about the missed opportunity that was the Hobbit films and how they fucked those up. And now I'm here. to talk video game news, which is historically never pissed me off ever.
Never.
Ever.
Ever.
But you know what, Moody?
At
I'm here with
all.
you, so can't be that bad, can it? Also, it's fucking boiling today. She says, drinking a cup of tea. But it's fucking boiling and I hate it.
Pretty cool over my end, I'm not going to lie.
It's fucking bastard fucking weather. I had to tie my hair back. I put my hair down. I've had my hair tied back all day. I put it down for the podcast, and then within like 2 minutes, I was like, "Nah, it's like 2 radiators on the side of my head." I was like, this isn't happening.
No, this ain't happening. This ain't
The
happening.
hair's getting tied back. All right, like within 30 minutes, I'm just gonna be like fucking dead. Like it was snowing like 2 weeks ago.
But I know the podcast listeners won't have seen yet. My new Bulbasaur. I got a new Bulbasaur. He's so cute and adorable. He's just like
It's Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's cool.
I'm gonna catch him in the Diamond and Pearl remix.
There's Sylveon over there.
Sylveon's a good Pokemon. It's a good Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm trying
Can't. Yeah, we can't see that.
Yeah, you can. Point directly at it.
Can't see it. Looks like you're pointing at wood.
I can see it.
Okay, right. As long as you can see it, that's okay.
If
then.
I can see it, people can see it.
Okay.
You just had an eye test.
Yeah, and they said it was fine.
The white thing, right? Like it's the big white thing.
What big white thing?
So this is the Words of Our Games podcast. Every single week we sit down and discuss news and announcements from around the games industry and gaming culture. And in this week's episode, we discuss certain comments from a former Days Gone dev. That's the thing that's going to piss me off. PlayStation's U-turn on the PS3 and Vita closures. Vita store closures. I've dropped in something like Jim Ryan said. Last week's Resident Evil showcase and more. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, and I put them in the description of the audio podcast, which you can get on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and some others that I've never heard of. I've never heard of them, but they come up on the Anchor dashboard, and I'm like, cool. People misuse them because they come up on my thing as like people have listened to the podcast via them, but I've never heard of them. So
sweet. That's all that matters.
Like that's all that matters. Wherever you want to listen to this podcast, like I have tried my best to get it there.
GG.
I'm sure there's somewhere where it's not, and it's just like it's going to be a huge problem, and it's just like, look, I've tried. I've tried. Podcast hosts and everything. Like,
she's done it all for you guys.
I've done everything I can. Like, leave me alone. I had a nap today, right? Like, I had a siesta when it was just like high noon. It was fucking way too hot. Like, and I was just like, I'm having a nap, and I had a nap, and I was dreaming about Control. Like, I had a dream about Control, and I woke up and I was just like, I really need to get this video finished.
This is now becoming a problem.
It's taking everything. It's taking over everything.
It's disrupting one of my favorite things, and that's sleep.
It's probably like this could be an altered world event for all I know. Like she spent too long, like in the world of Control and the FBC. This is actually now just crossed over into real life.
Yep. You are in Alan Wake too.
Let me start the petition. As Alan Wake's biggest, most vocal fan for the past 11 years, I think I deserve a part in Alan Wake 2. Here is my 80+ minute Control video to prove it.
And like she said last week, Liz, who's the developer again? Remedy. Her price isn't high. She's very cheap.
I've said it multiple times in the past few weeks, and everybody seems to think it's a joke. I'll sell out. For cheap. Just hit me up with your offer. But yeah, all things being equal, Moody, you'll be able to watch this video tomorrow, so I make a joke in it where it's just like, thanks for the feedback to these people who have been like sending bits and pieces of a video to you, like for the feedback, but more importantly for reminding me that I'm not wasting my life. Because when you've seen like the video in bits and pieces as much as I have, you can't tell anymore.
You can't, yeah, that's
whether
fair.
It's good or bad Oh, you've made a horrible mistake. And speaking of making horrible mistakes,
Or horrible comments, maybe.
Days Gone lead says, don't complain if there's no sequel if you didn't buy it. Full price. This is from Chris Scullion over at VGC, who writes, the creative director and writer of Days Gone has said that players should buy games at full price if they like them instead of waiting for them to go on sale or be given away as part of services like PS Plus. Yes, we will pick up on that paradox when we discuss it later. John Garvin was speaking to game designer David Jaffe on Jaffe's YouTube show, where he was asked if he'd heard anything about any, quote, meaningful uptick of engagement, end quote, with Days Gone since the game was added to the PlayStation Plus collection on PS5. Quote, I do have an opinion on something that your audience may find of interest, and it might piss some of them off, Garvin replied. If you love a game, buy it at fucking full price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got that on sale, I got it through PS Plus, whatever, end quote. Jaffe responded, quote, but how do you know you love a game until you've played it, end quote. What a great question. The reply, quote, I'm just saying you don't, but don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch. It's like God of War got whatever number millions of sales at launch, and also was like the fourth game in the series, and, you know, Days Gone didn't. I'm just speaking for me personally as a developer. I don't work for Sony. I don't know what the numbers are. I can tell you that when we were doing Siphon Filter Dark Mirror on PSP, we got so fucked on Dark Mirror because piracy was a thing and Sony wasn't really caught up on what piracy was doing to sales. And we would show them torrents. The torrent site had 200,000 copies of Dark Mirror being downloaded. If I remember it right, the numbers could be wrong, but regardless, I was pissed about it then. I was like, this is money out of my pocket. So I think the uptick in engagement with the game is not as important as did you buy the game at full price? Because if you did, then that's supporting the developers directly, end quote. Elsewhere in the 4-hour interview, Garvin confirms that his departure from Bend Studio was based on his personality rather than anything to do with the performance of Days Gone or any potential sequel talks. Perish the fucking thought. After being asked directly by Jaffe if he was fired, Garvin replied, quote, it was a long, hard development, 6 years, and I worked 6 years of crunch. We'll get into that later. And here's the thing, I love working crunch. I love what I do, so it's not that big a deal, but that doesn't mean it's good for me. So the last 2 years I've actually been away from the studio have actually been a blessing. I've been able to get up and do what I want, I've written 3 books, and it's just a different thing. When you're in development, it's a non-stop pressure with milestones, profitability, and people management, and to be honest, at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is we had a few heated arguments over the last year or so, and I would end up yelling and saying something like, just give me a package so I can get the fuck out of here, or some shit like that. And when it was just Chris, Reese, and I in a very small studio, that kind of heatedness was fine. But by the time you get to a 100-person studio, you can't have one of the directors losing their temper, you know? And I'm not a great people person anyway, and it's not like they didn't try. I was put through training a couple of times, like, hey, here's how you go out to lunch with people more and be a better director. And dude, I just kind of sucked at all that, end quote. Later in the interview, Jaffe seeks to clarify this by asking, quote, me reading between the lines would suggest that you were fired from Bend because you were a disruptive personality, and that worked with a smaller team and a medium-sized team, but as the budgets and the stakes got higher and the number of people that had to work on the team got bigger, that personality, at least according to the company, was no longer the right fit. Would you agree with that? End quote. Garvin replied, definitely.
Do you know what this sound is, Amy? It's the smallest violin of people not giving a fuck about this whiny little bitch's freaking, oh, I had to do these things. Oh, I love my job, so I didn't mind crunching and everything like that. Oh, if that's what you and everything like that. Oh, I'm not a people person, so that's why the fuck are you a developer then if you're not a people person? Fuck off and be a single developer by yourself then. Just do that because it seems like you're perfect for it, you miserable twat. I'm gonna flex a little bit with this 3-liter water here and everything. Okay, so let's get it. Okay, so first of all, to a certain point, sir, I'll say this right now. I do agree to a certain element to where the part of saying, yo, if people you want to see go to a game, you have to support that.
Uh-oh. You froze in the wrong place, Moody. You were just getting going. Come back.
Yeah, man, What an absolute idiot! I've just realised that now my internet went.
Yeah.
You didn't catch a single thing I said there,
Nope.
did you? Jesus.
Oh shit.
I knew my internet was going to do that. Do it again. Do it again. All right,
Again.
take two. Let's do this. Take two, ladies and gentlemen. Let's flex that right arm. Okay, so first of all, go back to the top of it. I agree to a certain point of view of what you're saying. If you want a sequel to a game, you have to support that game developer by paying for the game. Don't disagree with what you're saying whatsoever. I'll throw back at you though. People obviously didn't buy the game because they obviously maybe were not hearing the greatest things and thought, I can maybe hold on to this for sale and everything. When I saw a couple of reviews and everything like that, people were saying, maybe this is best to wait for sale, or maybe wait for PlayStation Plus and everything like that. If you're getting critics saying that about your game, then people are not going to buy your game and they will go wait for an effing sale. I will always support developers and everything like that. I am pro-developer all the freaking time. But if you're going to be a whiny little bitch about this, because you've clearly left badly. You haven't left amicable or anything. You are pissed, and you know you are. Piss off, you whiny little bitch.
Didn't expect that.
I am sick of hearing people coming across all high and mighty and thinking they are the top of the food chain and elitist. You are not, sir. You are not. Bugger off. Well done. You've written 3 books. If they sell, well, maybe then you should have pitched them to be a game instead of the awful writing apparently you did for Days Gone. So piss off. Are we done now?
I gotta try and follow that, right? I've said this on a bunch of podcasts that we've done in the past when the topic of like pricing and whatnot has come up. But like some of y'all have never been poor and it shows, right? Like I hate everything about all of this quote. Like everything this guy has said that I have read from this podcast, I hate it all. I hate it all. Just the headline. Don't complain if there's no sequel if you did buy it at full price. Like, yes, support developers that you enjoy, support games that you enjoy. Absolutely cool, whatevs. But like people sometimes just can't afford to drop £60 on a game and need to wait for a sale or need to wait for it to go PS Plus or into the PS Plus collection.
That's you're spot on as well, because we both do that.
We
both do that. Yeah,
we talked about it this week, whatever, a weekly review, where it's like the last AAA game I bought full price was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I rent games because otherwise it would be prohibitively expensive to buy them. Like,
but we also do know the people we rent from, that money that they get from us basically does go into them, to the developers as well. Because they buy a big bulk of.
They buy a big bulk of games. It's all like thing, like it's not piracy, which it's disingenuous later on when he compares it to when he starts talking about piracy, and it's like he feels like it's trying to make an equivalency that doesn't exist. Like it's an interesting story about siphon filter piracy, but like the fact that he brings it up in like adjacent to talking about people like getting games on sale or on PS Plus, it's just like it feels really fucking slimy. And
yeah, like I've said my piece on piracy. I don't like it or anything like that. But the guy just seems like he's just got all of this built up crap in him, and he's now just letting loose.
Well, I mean,
and he's thinking he's going to be the it thing to talk about for a while, which is kind of is because we're talking about.
I mean, he is because we're talking about him. Like that's the secret, right? You say something fucking stupid, and you know what? We're going to talk about it because it's fucking stupid. But like, guess what? We're not going to debate the merits of it. We're going to talk about how fucking stupid it is.
I'm going to hop on Twitter and say something stupid. See if I can get my 15 minutes of fame.
All right, cool. I'll add it to the show notes later.
Trump sucked. Oh wait, that's not stupid. That's facts. Well, I'm not going to say Trump was awesome. That's facts. That is not facts at all, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Continue.
Yeah, like I like even like before he gets to the part where he's talking about how like he was having like heatedness and like he was let go because of his personality. or his management style, or I guess lack thereof. Like, I could tell, it doesn't shock me that he says this based on what he's like everything he's been talking about before. It's like, oh, you will let go because you're an asshole.
Yeah, he's a
Perish
bully.
the thought.
Yeah, he was a bully. You can tell he was, and he's just
Admitted
bitching
it.
and whining about it.
Kind of just admitted it. Like he's kind of just told on himself, right? And
Yeah,
it's
he
just
just
like,
basically said, I am a dickhead."
I'm an asshole. Great. So
Yeah.
you're one of those managerial people that we've been talking about for the last couple of years at places like Rockstar and BioWare and I guess Bend.
Yep.
Who are shit managers, who terrible people persons, and like do seem to have very few, if any, redeeming qualities as like someone
Yep.
leading other people.
I
Like
feel like Parry in this song from a wrestling theme. But it's this instead of ass man, it's he's an asshole. Dun, dun, dun.
John Garvin. That name sounds familiar. I think he might have actually been on stage at one point talking about Days Gone.
What was his name again?
John Garvin.
John Garvin. All right, let's have a look. So you keep chatting. I'll have a look at this.
I was just gonna jump to the next one because
You go to the next story. I will listen.
good riddance, I guess, to someone who seems like a terrible manager, who I would not want to work for. Allegedly, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like Keith, I heard the Keith voice and I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't think it's slander. Next news story. Sony backtracks on shutting down PS3 Vita digital stores. This is from Brendan Sinclair over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, Sony has decided to keep the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita digital storefronts up and running after the company's plan to close them this summer drew considerable backlash. The plan to shutter the PS3, Vita, and PlayStation portable stores was first reported in the press last month, with Sony confirming the original report a week later. It also shut down the legacy web version of the PlayStation Store in the intervening time, so removing the system's own storefronts would have spelled an end to the availability of any digitally distributed games on all three platforms. Quote, upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan said in a post on the PlayStation blog. So today I'm happy to say that we will be keeping the PlayStation Store operational for PS3 and PS Vita devices, end quote. The PSP Store will not receive a similar reprieve as Ryan specified it will be shut down on July 2nd as previously announced. Quote, when we initially came to the decision to end purchasing support for PS3 and PS Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commerce support challenges for older devices. I actually have a solution for that. And the ability for us to focus more of our resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. We see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future, so I'm glad we were able to find a solution to continue operations, end quote. I'm glad we were able to find a solution to the problem that you created. For real? For real, that's the line. That's the line you decided to go with.
Yes. That's what they want to go
hey,
for.
Moody, I can't do this podcast. I can't do any more of the show notes of this podcast because I've just closed my laptop.
Yes.
Oh, no, wait, I've got a solution. I'll just open it again.
Yes.
What a solution. What a great solution I've just come up with there. And here's a thought. If the major factor of not supporting the PS3 and PS Vita stores, was the challenge of supporting commerce for older devices, I got a solution for you. Put it on the new ones.
Yeah,
I know it's not. I know it's not as simple as that, but
oh hell yeah, we know that. Yeah. Yo, if Microsoft were able to do it when they were saying, "Yo, we can't do this," and they did it, Sony, you can probably do this.
Oh, easily.
You're just refusing to do it. Everything.
And the worst part is, like Sony, like Xbox, I love them. I love them to bits. And some of their games and their franchises are hugely important to me. But PlayStation has like an infinitely better like legacy library of like classic PlayStation games.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if Xbox can manage it, Sony can manage it.
Yeah, this is the. Sony have just been doing stupid thing after stupid thing. And I know a lot of people haven't liked when people have said this, but this does seem like PlayStation 3 Sony right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming across very arrogant and just very thinking they are above it all and everything. And when you've got a CEO called Jim Ryan, not called, that's it's not his fault, is he was called Jim Ryan. Whose name
How
Jim
dare
Ryan.
you be called Jim Ryan?
Yeah, when you got to see roles like Jim Ryan, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it at all, and he's obviously we don't know what the full rumblings, what happened with him and Sean Lade and everything like that. But my goodness,
We know something happened.
yeah, we all know something's happened and everything, and whatever's happened, we as consumers right now have probably lost out long term with Sony right now. Well, not short term, because they can fix this all. We all know this. Sony are a very capable company. We know they can fix this
we know
all. They did that last
because they did it last time.
Yeah, that's true as well.
But like, it would be better if they just didn't do the first part again.
Yeah,
instead, just keep it going. Like PS4, like I said to you just before we started, one of the things I was watching while I was editing was the E3 2016 PlayStation press conference. One of the greatest shows in video game history, and like that was PlayStation.
Yeah,
that was only 4.5, 5 years ago. Like, it wasn't that long ago. Like, and that's what bums me out most. It's just like PlayStation like can be amazing, and regularly at the moment choose not to be.
Yeah, they're doing such corporate big crap altogether. And right now, I'll shout out to our friends of friends, Joseph Moran of the PlayStation podcast, the Trophy Row, the PlayStation podcast, where he's just done an episode where they talked, do Sony have a image problem with Jim Ryan? I'll say right now, yes. And he is a problem right now, and it's just because he comes. It's like literally watching the guy who's the CEO of EA come out on stage when he's trying to say, I'm hip. I'm not wearing a suit." They say, "Yeah, we know you're trying that, mate, and you still come across as corporate as shit. So come on, mate." And he's trying to say, "I'm just gonna unbutton the shirt." Show the hair, you know. Yeah,
but like no, yeah. Like I said this on a podcast a long time ago when we were talking about Satoru Iwata, may he rest in peace, where it's like he was like the first video game head, like console manufacturer, publisher, sort of head who got it and got the way to talk to people. Like, and Phil Spencer does the same thing. Sean Layden did the same thing. Where
Jack
it's like
Tretton did the same thing
Jack
as well.
Tretton was the same.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, sure, you have to talk about corporate stuff, figures, facts, and whatnot, but you can also like talk about fun. Other stuff. You can make you can make it fun. You can come out with the Crash Bandicoot shadow while the orchestra plays the Crash Bandicoot theme. You know, like turn to the audience and say, "Sorry, there's no T-shirt this time."
But here's the game.
But here's the game instead. Like we brought Crash back. Like it's just like they know how to talk to these to people.
Yeah.
Like Reggie Fils-Aimé, you know, like so many Nintendo Directs. The Muppet Direct, the Smash Brothers Direct with where like they did the whole thing of Iwata and Reggie fighting Smash Brothers style at the beginning. It's just like there's a way to do this, and then there's this way, the PlayStation way. Like the last State of Play that was on this year, like within a week we'd forgotten about it until somebody else brought it up on a podcast later, and then we were like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And as I'm thinking about it now, I don't remember anything from it. Like
the big thing was Final Fantasy VII
Integrate, right?
Yeah.
But like the PlayStation used to be memorable all the time, even when they had a shit show. Like they still brought it. Like, as paradoxical as that sounds, but it's true. And just like we're in this position now where like the things that they're doing, like in terms of shows, are forgettable. Like they have no personality anymore, like that they used to have. You used to know so many people by name. Like when someone walked out on the stage, you didn't even need the lower third. You just knew who they were because they were that guy from PlayStation. Yeah. Like, and like there's a lot of the decisions they're making are just fucking shit. Like,
Yeah.
they're not going to tank the brand. They're not going to tank the share price. They're not going to tank sales. They're just shit decisions. They're just shit decisions that are going to piss some people off. And then the next one's a shit decision that's going to piss some more people off. And then the next one's just, it's just going to build and build. Like, we're not a PlayStation podcast, but we talk about them a lot. But like you're saying there, like they've had that discussion on the Trophy Room on a PlayStation podcast. Like, people are noticing this stuff.
Yeah. There's a serious. If I was them right now, I would say, yo, Jim Ryan, you can be CEO. You're not going in front of camera whatsoever. You're staying out the fuck out of that. Yo, Shuhei, get here. The guy who was the head of their games, AAA studios they own and everything like that. The guy who used to be, I can't remember his name, but he used to be with Horizon Zero Dawn developer. He's now the head of all those. Yeah. Get him on there because he's got a good personality as well. Get him all on there. Don't have this guy right now, Jim Ryan. He is literally sucking the life out of enthusiasm for the PlayStation brand, and he's doing it to so casually think he's like, I'm hip. You're pasty white old dude, mate. You are not hip. Trust me, you are not hip. I'm not hip. Like, come on, dude.
How do you do, fellow gamers?
Like, fuck her off and everything. Like, seriously, they need to seriously sort this out, man. They need to seriously sort this crap out. Like, they're gonna be fine. We know this. They're gonna be fine. We know this. Their PlayStation 5 is selling incredibly well. Games are selling incredibly well and everything like that. And we all know they're going to be fine. And we're all when they reveal the next Spider-Man, we're gonna be like, oh my god. When they reveal the next Killzone or the next shooter they're doing, whatever, we're gonna be like, whoa, something got better like that.
Well, no, they're not gonna do shooters anymore. They're not gonna do shooters. They're gonna do blockbusters, like third person, like cinematic. Games is what they do now. They don't do shooters.
When they show us the new IP that Naughty Dog's going to be doing and everything like that, we're going to be like, holy mother of God. We know this. We all know this. But we're just going to be like, we know this. And we know they're going to be fine. But Jim Ryan, you're an idiot.
No company is invincible, especially not from themselves. And all through PlayStation 2's era, they were being the arrogant, fucking big dick assholes that they're kind of being now. And we were still like, yeah, hell yeah, look at these awesome games. But then PlayStation 3 happened. It doesn't take much. Like, from once you start building it up, it doesn't take that much for like one little thing. And that's it. No company's invincible.
But at the same time, they course-corrected so fast that at the end of the day, they sold incredibly well still. Yes, they could have sold even more if they didn't have to do that stupid shit what they did at the start. I don't disagree with that. But they can course correct really fast. That's how fast they can course correct, ladies and gentlemen. They did it really fast with the PlayStation 3.
Medium fast. Fast-ish. We're not talking about the Flash.
Pick one, Amy. Pick one.
not that fast. Fast now, looking back at it, because, it was ages ago. But
let's continue talking about Jim Ryan, Amy.
I'm gonna take a drink first.
Take a drink out of your. I'll flex a couple of more times. Yeah, I'll tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta watch the video version for this. This could be a funny laugh. Just,
only if the cap comes off the bottle by accident, mid flex.
Yeah, it pops out and just water throws all over me. 3 liters of the bucket.
Sony backtracks. Nope, I've scrolled up too far. Jim Ryan says PlayStation has been quietly investing in PS5 exclusives. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGCs. He writes, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan has claimed PS5, I love the word claimed in that sentence, has claimed PS5 will be home to more exclusives than any previous PlayStation console. Speaking to Nikkei, the PlayStation boss said the company has been quietly investing in creation of first-party software, and that it could pursue further M&A opportunities to bolster its in-house development capabilities. Quote, We've been quietly but steadily investing in high-quality games for PlayStation, and we will make sure that the PlayStation 5 generation will have more dedicated software than ever before. We have repeatedly engaged in mergers and acquisitions, including Insomniac Games in the US. We will not rule out that option in the future." End quote. In terms of upcoming exclusives, SIE currently gearing up to release Housemarque's Returnal on April 30th. Should probably do some marketing for that game. And Insomniac's Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart in June 2021. Guerrilla's Horizon Forbidden West is slated for release in late 2021. And God of War Ragnarok was announced via a brief teaser last September for release on PS5 this year, although nothing more has been heard of Santa Monica Studios' sequel since. I mean, I hate to break it to you, VGC, but nothing's been heard of Horizon either. In February, Gran Turismo 7's release date was delayed from this year to 2022 due to, quote, COVID-related production challenges, end quote, experienced by developer Polyphony Digital. Naughty Dog is also reportedly developing a remake of the original Last of Us. PlayStation recently closed its oldest first-party developer, Sony Japan Studio, but Ryan told Nikkei the company remains, quote, committed to the Japanese market, end quote. Don't believe you. I don't believe you. I believe he says that, you know, because he's talking to one of the biggest Japanese publications. I don't believe they're as committed to the Japanese market. But anyway, I digress. That's not the point of this story. The point of this story is there are going to be more exclusives on PS5 than ever before in the history of any PlayStation console.
Yeah?
But they're doing it quietly. They don't want anyone to know that there's going to be more.
Why you would say it quietly is a bit like, why would you say quiet? You should be shouting this from the rooftops.
Why are you keeping it a secret?
Yeah.
Is it because that you already implemented this policy like 2 days ago? Because of a certain video game journalist who works at Bloomberg who might have said some stuff about the direction your company has taken, and a lot of people kind of took understandable issue with that, including Ian Foxes on last week's podcast.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it's Jim Ryan. Just stay off the limelight, dude. Like, just don't say anything. Just be CEO guy quietly and just stay out the fuck out of the way, mate. Because you're just like, oh, dude.
Dude.
I've already ranted once, okay?
Oh, we're doing it again. Again.
Oh, cool. Like seriously, like what is the thing that Xbox got crapped on all the time, ladies and gentlemen, for last generation was, where were the exclusives? Ryan, everyone knows that Phil Spencer knows we need exclusives. We need games to be on our console and everything like that. So, Ryan, if Phil Spencer's doing it, why the fuck aren't you doing it when you're the console bloody leader, mate? You're the market brand. You should be shouting off to the top of the rooftops, going on the top of Sony Tower or whatever building you were in, and literally saying, we have got many exclusives coming to the PlayStation 5. See you when we talk about it, or something like that.
Unfortunately, a lot of them are remakes.
But you are all marks and you will buy them. Probably, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as much as we asked and answered the question like last week of does The Last of Us need a remake? Answer, no, it fucking doesn't.
I'll tell you this right now.
Millions of people will still buy it.
Yeah, this is the thing about it. It's not going to be a remake into the level of the Final Fantasy VII, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to be a remaster.
It's not even that old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. They're going to be pushing this as a remake. It's not going to be a remake. It's just going to be enhanced visuals and everything. Which, Last of Us Part 2 was beautiful. And when that goes to PlayStation 5, it's going to look sexy as well. And I'm sure Last of Us, the original, will look sexy as hell. But my goodness. Whenever they reveal the remake for Metal Gear Solid, we're going to be like,
they never remake Metal Gear Solid.
When they give Amy Silent Hill and everything, she'll shut up and still buy this.
You are putting way too much faith in Konami right now. I'm just going to say that.
I'm about just giving way too much faith in Jim Ryan getting this through.
Jim Ryan.
No, but you know what I mean? We're hearing great things about from the previews for Returnal and everything. This is fantastic, but you should be shouting this from the rooftop, Jim Ryan.
Right. Where's the marketing?
Or even this. You should not have said a single thing. You should have literally said this: we are coming back to E3 be there, and then be there at E3 and literally blow everyone bloody away. That's what you should have done. Not do this little thing. We're quietly investing in exclusives for our PlayStation 5.
We've got some exclusives. It's cool. It's cool, guys.
But we don't want to talk about it yet.
I mean, a lot of them.
Anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of them are just like, indie games, which is still good, but they're not like from our AAA studios, because we don't actually have all that many, and you kind of like know what most of them are doing. So like, there's not that many surprises we have down the pipeline. Like, ooh, we're making a new Uncharted. Shocker, right? Like, fuck me, man. Like, get it together, Jim. When this podcast just turned into
slapped Jim Ryan in the face there, basically. But no, yeah, it's like, oh, come on, man, Jim Ryan, man. Why are you saying stupid things like this? Like, seriously, come on.
Anyway.
Shout this from the flipping rooftops. You are Sony. Like, you are Sony.
What you just said is like, it's genius. Like, if Sony's marketing hasn't thought about this, like, when they return to E3...
If they do.
Like, let's just say they do, right? When they did it, oh my God, it would just be an event to end all events, right?
That's the thing about it. If Sony came out and says they were going back to E3, E3 suddenly becomes more important than it is right now, and you've basically got most of the big important developers already there. That's how much power Sony have with the market, ladies and gentlemen. If Sony came out and did it, literally, we're back at E3 this year. Be there, June, whatever date. We are there.
12th, 14th, 15th, 16th. There. So I did it. I got all the dates.
The world will be bloody ending, and everyone would be like, Sony's back again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? And then they'd have a crap conference, and everyone would still say it was great. Because that's what Sony power does for you.
All right. We're moving on from the Jim Ryan rant.
Well, let's talk about a 9-foot tall lady, Amy, the one who's taken everyone's hearts by storm, and that everybody just wants to allow her to stand on them.
Look, right, don't try and butter me up, right, with talking about the tall vampire lady. I got some shit to say about this. I'm pointing at a specific part of the show notes that you can't actually see. This, hold on, you'll be able to see that. This nonsense that I'm highlighting in the show notes right now for your benefit and your benefit, though, Moody.
Where is it? Right. Okay, this nonsense. Yes, I'm here.
This nonsense.
Okay, that nonsense. Are you going to read that nonsense for the people to know?
I'm going to read everything. I just wanted you to be prepared that it's my turn to rant.
Okay, cool. I can sit back.
Everything announced in Capcom's Resident Evil showcase. This is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer, who writes, the showcase kicked off with a new Village trailer, I guess, showing clips. I don't want to know what you've just sent me. Showing clips from early in the game, a radio broadcast calling for survivors, a look at the werewolf-like lichens, and Lady Dimitrescu, whose name I know I'm not pronouncing right, but I don't remember the proper pronunciation that I learned literally today, taking a tasty sip of Ethan's blood. Chris Redfield also puts in an appearance, but what he's up to isn't clear. We know. I was about to say we should just say we're not going to speculate on any story stuff, because again, as we've talked about when we've talked about Village in these podcasts, we've read the spoilers, and it would be unfair if we did that. Continue. You'll be able to poke around all this for yourself with the game's upcoming time-limited demo, which will let you play for 60 minutes on PlayStation 5, PS4, Stadia, Steam, Xbox One, and Xbox Series S and X and S. The demo will be available for all platforms for 24 hours, starting 2nd of May at 1 a.m. UK time or 2 a.m. in Europe. In North America, this will be from the 1st of May at 5 p.m. Pacific for 24 hours. You'll be able to choose between exploring the game's village or castle areas, or dip into both if you choose, but you only have 60 minutes total. PS4 and PS5 owners will also get, quote, 8 hours in Village, end quote, where you can play both village and castle areas over preceding weekends. Each area will be opened up for 8 hours, in which you can play it for 30 minutes. And there's times, I'm not going to read through them. It's ridiculously convoluted. Even the article says, yes, this is all a bit complicated.
Go on.
Sorry, I just got a message, and it's just like people are asking me questions. They know I'm podcasting, and they're like, I need you, demand that you reply to this message. And it's like, I can't. And everybody knows this.
Why don't you just take your thing off?
Because it looks cool on my wrist, okay? There, it's done. It's gone. I don't even know where it went. I didn't mean to punch my desk. I wasn't angry. But shit happens. Now my wrist
Moving
feels
on.
naked. Moving on, we get a look at Village's Mercenaries mode. The fast-paced combat mode featured in numerous other Resi games, which returns here with a few tweaks. New features include the game's merchant popping up between areas who sell supplies, guns, and upgrades. You can also select abilities, which include skills where you can buff movement speed, weapon damage, armor, and more. Capcom's competitive multiplayer, Resident Evil Reverse, was again mentioned as being free for Village owners, though there was no new information shared on that. Then there were some movie trailers. Capcom wrapped the show with an announcement of Resident Evil 4 VR for Oculus Quest 2, which is being developed by Armature. This version of the game moves its action to a first-person perspective, even its inventory management, which is now in 3D. Look, right. Village, one of my most anticipated games of 2021. You know this. Everybody who's listening to this podcast knows I'm super excited for Resident Evil Village.
Yep, 2 weeks out.
Like, the trailer looks cool. Like, even, like, you know, knowing things about leaks and stuff. Like, it all looked really cool. Like, Mercenaries mode as well is just like, oh my god. Like, literally me and Foxes were talking about it last week. Where we were decrying Resident Evil RE-verse as just, like, another multiplayer thing that I'm not going to play. And then I literally said, Mercenaries is right there. Mercenaries is right there. Just do Mercenaries, Capcom. And then, like, an hour after I said it,
They did it.
Mercenaries is in it.
Yep.
You're welcome, Resident Evil fans, is basically what I'm trying to say, because I am 100% responsible for Mercenaries being in Resident Evil Village. But it looks cool. It looks like something I can really sink my teeth into, alongside, like, obviously playing what looks to be a really cool single-player campaign. And I fucking can't wait. Like, I just wish Mercenaries was multiplayer and not RE first, because me and you playing through Mercenaries would just be fucking game of the year. Game of the year.
Okay.
Game of the year. Like, do
Well,
you want to say anything before I talk about demos?
I'm incredibly excited for this game. Resident Evil Village obviously looks brilliant and everything, and I can't wait to die by the hands of the lady 9-foot tall sexy lady.
Oh, did you see the thing where they were talking about her, and she's basically going to be like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake?
And everyone's going to be like, "Oh no, she's found me! No, oh no, why am I not fighting back?"
She's just going to stalk you, and it's just like, oh my god. Someone at Capcom knew exactly what they were doing.
I'm waiting to see something. Someone's going to create a video, an animation of literally of her stalking, and literally she's going to barge through a door, and then Ethan's going to be there naked, just like, yeah. So I'm waiting. I'm here.
No, yeah, there was gameplay footage. It's like she actually like ducks underneath all the doors, like she's going through. She's 9'6". But
there's an element that peed you off.
Oh my
Amy.
god,
Go.
these demos! What the fuck are these demos, Moody?
I don't know. I never played them.
Like, no. What the fuck is with these demos? They're so fucking stupid. Like, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, something very similar, when the ESA was talking about maybe monetizing a part of E3. And to which my response was, why would I pay for adverts? And this is the same, but it's time. It's like, why would I schedule my life around a game demo? Like, time-limited demos are cool. Like, we had the 2 one-shot demos for Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Remake, where you could only play for like 20 minutes, was it?
Yeah.
Like, that was cool. Like, you just get 20 minutes to fucking go through part of the game and have an experience and get excited for the game. And that's fine. I like that. That's a really cool idea. But I could download that demo and play it at my convenience. Like, when I had the time to play it, I could play it. This is, if you are available on a specific day, you can play the game for 60 minutes. Spoiler alert, I'm actually not available on that specific day because I have a life. And immovable things like that I would rather be doing. Like, but I would play the shit out of this demo if I could just download it and play it when it was convenient for me.
Yeah.
But this is fucking stupid.
Very
It's
stupid.
fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... I don't know what they were thinking here. I won't lie. It's like, obviously none of us do. We'll just say that for a fact. None of us know what they were thinking here. It's like, here,
They're
we
trying
want
to
to see
create
how
a
many...
moment. They're trying to
Yeah.
create a hyper-focused moment on Twitch and on social media of everybody talking about how excited they are about Resident Evil Village because they've played this demo all at once. And from what I saw during because the first PlayStation demo was last weekend, it didn't work because I didn't see anything about Resident Evil Village like popping up at all on social media. Like I imagine it made a bit of an impact on Twitch of people playing it, but I didn't see anyone really talking about it.
Yeah.
A couple of videos popped up, you know, of like Eurogamer, I think, played it, and like, a couple other places, but like there was no like bump of like people talking about it. And then I don't know, like the last demo is less than a week before the game even comes out. So like I don't even like, even though I'm like saying this is dumb and I would play it if I could, it's like, but I'll be playing the full game 5 days later, so I can't really find myself caring all that much anyway. And like, it's so close to the release. It's just like, it's really weird.
Throwing out a demo, I don't think is really weird. Just giving it as a timer, I think it's like just bonkers. Just throwing out like that type of thing as a demo, I think is all right.
Oh yeah. I'm just talking about like it's very, very close to the release date.
Yeah, but throwing out a thing like, well, you only have 24 hours, and we take it away.
That was that angered me greatly.
Yeah, it is. It's just doesn't make sense. But they've done it. Sadly, if you didn't get to play it, it's annoying. I can understand that, but it's out in a couple of weeks at the same time.
Yeah, but like a demo is a kind of like advertisement for your game. It's part of a marketing strategy, like to get people A, talking about the game who play it, and B, like people who may not be thinking about buying it, but oh, there's a demo of this Resident Evil game. Well, I can try it. You know, I'll download it and try it. It's only like an hour of my life, which is 3 times longer than the last 2 demos. Like I'll give it a go, and that'll convert people to buying it. But it's like I'm not gonna, like, it's like why would I pay for my adverts? Why would I schedule my life around an advert? I wouldn't, so I'm not kidding. I'm gonna work my day job. I'm gonna come home, and I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna podcast with Moody, and then I'm gonna
play Monster Hunter,
relax, and play Monster Hunter afterwards.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna be like, Resident Evil, fine, whatever, don't care, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, silly. Excited for the game though, ladies and gentlemen. Soon, 2 weeks, not far.
Yeah, still super excited about the game. I just realized, like, because I restarted the thing, I do not have a fucking clue what this podcast is at the moment. Hold on. There you are. Okay. So it's that plus that. Gotcha. Let's do the NPD for March 2021. The top 10 best-selling games of last month. Number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Number 2, Monster Hunter Rise. Number 3, Outriders. Number 4, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Number 5, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 6, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm guessing. Number 7, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 8, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 9, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And number 10, Minecraft. Monster Hunter Rise is
4 Nintendo exclusives. Well, 5 Nintendo exclusives there.
Monster Hunter Rise is both cheaper than Outright, because the only 2 new release games are Monster Hunter and Outriders. And Monster Hunter Rise is, because this is based on revenue, not sales numbers. Monster Hunter Rise is both cheaper than Outriders and on less platforms.
Yeah, it's only on one platform, and that's incredible to think that. Yo, big shout out to Outriders. The game didn't work for us, anything like that, but it's been an enormous success and well done for that.
Oh, it has, no doubt about it.
But Monster Hunter Rise, you've been out.
It rose.
It rose. It really did, and it's incredible now. I'll say right now, with what more we've played, it is probably my game of the year so far, and it's absolutely deserving of it so far. It's an incredible game, but like, yo, I'm telling you, you got 5 games there and many of them are games from like 2 years ago now. Like Animal Crossing last year, Mario 3D All Stars last year, Mario Kart. Whenever the Switch came out,
3D All Stars probably had a sales bump because they killed Mario last month.
Yeah, true. But also you got like 3D Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, one of our favorite games this year as well, which it's been incredible. Miles Morales has been obviously an incredibly successful game for Sony and everything. But yeah, well done. And Minecraft. It's on Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. Get it on there. But yeah, well done to them. Yeah, well done to all the games.
I have a note that is relevant. Monster Hunter Rise debuted as March's second bestseller while also ranking first on Switch. With just 1 month on the market, lifetime dollar sales of Monster Hunter Rise ranked second amongst all Monster Hunter franchise releases, trailing only Monster Hunter World, which was both more expensive at launch and came out on more platforms.
Yeah, that is incredible. Power of Nintendo, man. When an exclusive game comes out for them, they support it.
Power of Monster Hunter as well. Like,
yeah, Monster's incredible.
World blew up for a lot more people than any other game in the series did.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, a lot of Japanese games have done that in the past sort of 5-10 years, right? Like Persona 5 did it. Like Kingdom Hearts kind of had a bit of more of a sort of, hey, it's Disney, but in a JRPG kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
Resident Evil seems to be back, especially with Resident Evil 2
and 7.
Yeah, and 7. Sorry.
3, I can understand you mixed on.
I mean, I mixed on it. It sold well. I didn't add 7 because I didn't know what 7 sales things were like, because that was like 4 years ago.
But I'm pretty sure it sold really well.
I'm assuming it did. Even 6 sold really well somehow. Top 10 best-selling games of 2021 year to date. Number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Number 2, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Number 3, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 4, Monster Hunter Rise. Number 5, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 6, Mario Kart 8. Number 7, Minecraft. Number 8, Madden NFL 21. Number 9, Animal Crossing New Horizons. And number 10, Outriders.
So basically, games sold this year so far, obviously, that gap, obviously in March, is obviously bigger than between 2 and 3 than a lot of people think it is.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like,
I think it's a pretty
Call of Duty way ahead, then it's got Monster Hunter, and then if you have a little game underneath, it's just like way far away.
2 of those games that are between it didn't chart in the top 10 last month, so.
Yeah, so again, congratulations to all the games. Like I say, Outriders, like, well done. Monster Hunter Rise, well done.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Anyway, here's the rest of the notes. March video game hardware dollar sales were 47% higher than a year ago at a March record $680 million. The previous high was $552 million, set in March 2008. Congratulations to all of the scalpers who helped push that so high.
That's the thing about it. They're annoyed a little bit, but they're also, are we really annoyed, guys? Like, we just got a ton of money from all these idiots who are like buying our consoles, so we're good.
Nintendo Switch was the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars during the month of March. In the first quarter, Nintendo Switch was the unit sales leader, while PlayStation 5 ranked first in hardware dollar sales. Again, congratulations to all the scalpers who caused that. And, you know, what I'm going to say after I say this sentence, it's predictable, but it's true, and that makes it funny. PlayStation 5 is the fastest-selling console in US history in both unit and dollar sales, lifetime sales with 5 months on the market. Congratulations to all of the scalpers who caused that to happen.
Well done.
Congrats.
You give them a lot of money.
It'd be nice if you could just let some people, like normal people, buy consoles at a reasonable price. Like, CEX is still fucking grifting PlayStation 5 sales.
Oh, fuck CEX, man. Fuck it. Like, I went into a game yesterday, and I asked them the question, when do they think they'll get it physically in store? The manager there literally said to me, we don't expect to have them physically installed until probably the end of the year.
I'd say that's about right.
Yeah.
Like,
that's scary to think that is, don't.
They can't, like, there's a shortage, right? Like, pandemic, production issues, like, there was always going to be like, a shortage. The scalpers have just exacerbated the situation.
That's the thing about it. There ain't a shortage, ladies and gentlemen. It's just scalpers have nicked them all. Scalpers have them. Are you willing to pay that money? No, you shouldn't pay that money. They don't deserve the money.
It'd be great if PlayStation just came out of fucking nowhere like next month and we're just like, right, we've been holding the supply line back so that we can just have a steady supply going out into retailers. So the PS5, it might go out of stock every now and again, but it'll very quickly be in stock. And then they just fucking flood the market with PlayStation 5s, and all of a sudden all these scalpers have spent like tens of thousands of dollars on all these PS5s in a garage, and they're like, wait, what? But what about all these PlayStations?
What about all these?
What about all these? I can't sell them at a profit. And Sony's just like, sucks to be you, doesn't it? Thanks for making this the fastest selling console in US history, bitch.
But that's the thing about it. That the scalpers are just helping Sony even more because people are wanting them.
Well, they're helping Sony and they're helping themselves. But yes, it is that shortage thing of just like, it is making it a more desirable console.
Yeah.
Like, it's a more like Nintendo does this on purpose all the time. Like, they create fake scarcity of their products, and it makes people want them more.
Mm-hmm.
You want a PlayStation 5, probably like you probably would have wanted one anyway, but you probably it's probably on your mind more because you know that it's difficult to get.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm good. I've got one, but like at the same time, I had to do some stuff to get that. Like, an entire fucking half a day was wasted making sure I got that PlayStation 5. So, you know, who's the idiot, really? It's me. It's always me. At the March launch of the Switch version of Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time helped the title to rise to number 15 on the March bestsellers chart after placing 65th in February.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Boom.
Let's talk about your favorite company, Amy.
My sarcastically favorite company, or my actual favorite company?
Oh, sarcastic.
Oh, okay, cool. Can you narrow that down for me a little bit? I have a few of those. I'm not friends with a lot of companies.
That's true.
I don't know why. I'm very anti-capitalist. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe. Ubisoft Forward E3 2021 conference announces Matt Purslow over at IGN, who writes that that's happening on Saturday, June 12th, starting at 12 p.m. PT.
Interesting to doing it on a Saturday, not a Monday. But who cares?
Actually, that's true. You're right.
I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm not excited for this. Yeah, okay, well done. You're going to the conference and everything for E3. Well done. Blah blah blah. And we will probably watch it. We will probably hop into a Discord like we're doing now and watch it and everything. But I'm not hyped for this whatsoever. I've lost all enthusiasm for Ubisoft. Thank you, Amy.
It wasn't my fault. You even played a couple.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I know, but it's like we're gonna see the things that we already know about, ladies and gentlemen. We know this. We're gonna see the games we already know about, and etc. etc. We're probably gonna see a gameplay of Far Cry, the next Far Cry, and eventually give us a release date, which will probably be fall later this year, etc. etc.
Yeah.
Will we see Days Gone? Not Days Gone.
No.
Beyond Good and Evil. I don't know why I said Days Gone. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Will we actually see that, ladies and gentlemen? Who freaking knows?
It's gone.
Will we actually see a game? I actually didn't realize they were developing, which is crazy because the director of the film is my favorite director of all time, and James Cameron. Will we actually see the Avatar game? I didn't even know they were doing an Avatar game. This is the year they get me back. They'll show me it, and I'll be like, I must have that. And I'll be like, God damn it. But yeah, no, I'm not. Okay, well done. You're going G3. Yay. I don't care Ubisoft right now. I really don't.
Hopefully that'll be the hype buffer. So like there'll be a show before the Ubisoft Forward, which is amazing. And then the Ubisoft Forward will be like the cooling off period.
That's where we get our takeouts and
where we just like sit and eat and chill and cool off before the next big hype moment.
Sweet. That sounds
and speaking of like big hype moments, Square Enix joins the growing Digital E3 2021 roster. You'll notice I copy pasted more words into this one. I don't know why that could have been. This is from
I
Chris
don't know
Scullion
about
over at VGC, who writes, Square Enix is due to have some sort of presence at E3 2021, its president has confirmed. Speaking in an interview with Nikkei, Yosuke Matsuda was asked which Square Enix titles he was looking forward to in 2021. Quote, Outriders, the release of which was postponed, was released on April 1st, and Nier Replicant, and I'm going to do this once. This is the one and only time I'm going to do this. Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 will also be released in April. In addition, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate will be released in June. So, like, which one's your favourite? Yes, we have games that are coming out. Which one's your favourite game? Yes, it is. All of them. We'll be announcing the rest of the lineup later, and we're also planning to make an announcement at E3 in June, so please keep your eyes peeled, end quote. Square Enix was not listed in the confirmed partial partner list when the ESA gave the first details earlier this month on the all-digital E3. Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Bros. Games, and Koch Media will all participate in the event, which will run from June 12th to June 15th, but Square Enix is yet to be officially confirmed. The first Square Enix Presents digital presentation, which premiered in March, ended with the message, be on the lookout for our next Square Enix Presents this summer.
which is obviously E3.
E3. Like, everybody said that. Like, oh, they're going to do E3. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. They do some great games and everything like that. Obviously, I'm curious, will we see Final Fantasy 16? Will they actually talk about Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 or whatever the hell they're going to call the bugger? Will they actually finally get Avengers sorted and actually make it playable for people and whatnot?
Avengers is going to go the Anthem route, where it's just like they might mention it for like half a minute.
You think?
Yes, it exists,
God.
and it's gone. Like, it's like the parallels are uncanny, like between like Avengers and the other one, Anthem.
What were your thoughts? I don't know if you saw. What were your thoughts on the rumors that happened last week about the apparently Square Enix are up for sale or they're interested in maybe getting bought or something?
Bullshit. Not happening.
Bullshit. You don't think they? Okay, that's right.
They're on too much of an upswing to get bought. Like, if they were on the ropes like they were...
Are they really? Because they just lost a lot of money on Avengers.
Yeah, but that's just one game. That's just one game. Right. Like, if they were on the ropes like they were a few years ago and, like, nothing they could do seemed to be going right, like, then, yeah, maybe. But, like, I think they're in a strong enough position that even if Microsoft or Sony came knocking, they could just say, nah, you're right, mate. Nah, we're good.
I won't lie. If it was either of them, I would bet Sony wins that battle.
If they did. Wouldn't be so sure.
Don't Sony have a percentage in them already?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I heard that.
But
I might be wrong. I might be wrong there. That's just I'm not saying that's facts or anything.
But no, yeah. Be, like, just the way Microsoft have been operating recently, I would not be so sure about.
No, Discord didn't take that Microsoft money.
No, they did not. So Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate comes out on PS5 on June 10th, 2021. 2 days before E3 starts. So I think it's very plausible that they talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, whatever it's called, the Great Journey, or whatever. The Unknown Journey. Like,
so we might get 2 Final Fantasy discussions.
I think you could bookend the entire show with it. You start with Final Fantasy 16, which is the one people are expecting you to talk about, and then you end with Final Fantasy 7. And then everything in between is like Project Athia, Life is Strange.
Yeah, Life is Strange.
Nier? Like an actually new one as opposed to a remake.
You gotta think they're doing the sequel to Automata.
There's no way they're not. Nier Automata was another one of those Japanese games that was like the breakout thing where now everybody knows about Nier. Like, yeah. Like, and it was a few years ago. Like, I gotta assume they've been working on an actual follow-up. Whatever it ends up being. And then Project Athia has a name that I keep forgetting. Forspoken? Something like that.
Forspoken, I think it is, yeah. They've changed it to Forspoken, I think, haven't they? We'll see.
They've got Legends of Mana coming out as well.
Either way, Amy, we're going to be booked all that weekend.
Oh, I'm already sorted for it. But
watching it, picking out on junk food, and just having a fun time.
But, yes, it Square Enix has a lot of things
Potentially, yeah.
that excite me, unlike Ubisoft.
Yay.
Hence why we talked for like 2 minutes about Ubisoft, like 5 minutes about Square, because Square is an exciting company with a lot of promise. And Ubisoft is still making the same games over and over again. Speaking of making the same games, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake developed by Aspyr.
Excellent segue.
I'm getting really good at them. I've only had 253 episodes of practice. This is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer, who writes, the unannounced Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake will be developed by renowned port studio Aspyr. Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier revealed the detail while a guest on the Min-Max podcast. It follows earlier whispers of a KOTOR remake which have swirled for some time, and which also suggested the project wasn't being handled internally by EA or original studio BioWare. Eurogame has separately heard of Aspyr's development, and that while the developer is known for often releasing straight ports, work is currently underway to make the project more of a remake instead. Back in January, another report suggested the project would contain elements from both KOTOR games to bring certain things into the current Star Wars canon. Speaking on the Min-Max podcast, Schreier said, quote, this is public at this point. I've basically confirmed Aspyr, which is the company that's ported a bunch of KOTOR games, is working on the remake, end quote. And then there was a note here which I need, like, it's for my benefit to go back and listen to it. The full interview is worth a listen for discussion on revealing games and whether reporting spoils game announcements, because that is a fascinating topic of conversation. Does reporting, like game announcements, spoil the announcements? Because I don't think it does, but a lot of people have a lot of very strong thoughts on that. Anyway, let's talk about another remake.
But this is the remake that needs to happen now, for me personally. This is a game that needs to be remade into with a better gameplay. Because if this was just a plain remaster, I'll be like, no, not just the up-res with the visuals or anything like that. The Get Out. I love these games and they were brilliant. But my God, they are dated, and even the gameplay is dated. You need to fork out the money on this to get this up properly.
Or make a new one. I mean,
that's what.
Imagine if you just made a new one. Let's just make the one people have played.
I understand where you're coming from with that. I don't deny what you're saying there, but for me, I think this has the Disney money behind it as well. I think Disney have probably even asked this. We need it. They want this up so they can make this proper canon. They weren't going to use the old one as canon. That's their decision. Like it or not, either way, I think they want to make this canon, and then everyone will be happy, ladies and gentlemen, that Darth Revan will be canon now, and everyone will be like, yay! Blah, 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 whatever. I am hyped for this, but my worry is that it's a developer who did the port for it to, I think, mobile or pad or whatever. I heard very mixed things for that, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so now you went from that to now think you can do basically a full remake of one of the most beloved games when it came out.
I don't think this is going to be a bigger. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think this is going to be a bigger remake as everybody thinks it is. Like, I don't think this is going to be a full top to bottom remake. Like, I think the term remake is going to be more to do with the story, because obviously, like, Disney will give a shit about what goes into the story because of their thing where, like, everything that gets released is canon, so they have to be careful about what they put in it.
Yeah. That's fair.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, again, like, I may or may not have a half-written video essay raging about the view of disposability of older games, and, like, older games are still good. Like, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be as big an upgrade as it sounds like it's going to be, especially and this is not knocking the development studio at all, just especially knowing the development studio that's involved in it. Like,
this would probably get more hype if this was BioWare. I won't lie.
Would it though? Because there's
because they're on a high right now. They're getting a lot of love and attention for the Mass Effect remaster.
Again, that's just a fucking remaster as well. It's just like, it's the whole, like, am I the only person who wants to play new games?
No, like, I don't disagree with what you said. I love new IPs and everything like that, but at the same time,
I'm not even talking about new IPs. Like, it's just like,
I want
to play something new, and like,
I agree with you.
The old games exist and I can play them, and that's cool. Like, unless you're PlayStation, like, the old games exist and I can play them really easily. Like, I don't like. It's cool that it's happening and there's people excited for it, and that's great. But it's just like we're just porting everything. It's like the movies. It's like movies now. We're just remaking everything all over again. And then the games that are coming out that are really new and interesting, like Returnal, like PlayStation's just forgotten to market the thing. Square just forgot to market Tomb Raider. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm
I don't know where you're going with this.
it's just been fucking week after week of this game that doesn't need a remake is getting a remake, and this game that everybody can play still is getting a remake, and this is a remake, and this is a remake, and this is a port.
And she's dead, ladies and
Dead.
gentlemen.
I'm dead.
She is dead. Either way, if you like this one, you don't like this one, you still got the original.
Hey, I love
so
Kotor,
don't worry
and like
about
I
that.
should probably like point my microphone at me so people can hear me properly. I love Kotor. I think it's a fucking amazing game. But I can play it right now. I don't need to wait for a remake. It's not difficult to play, and it's not very expensive. Old games still have value.
They do have value. There's no doubt about that. Having a remake doesn't hurt the value of them.
But you could just be putting that effort into making a new one. Maybe I'm not. A lot of this is still The Last of Us getting remade, which is just like the most unnecessary remake in the history of remakes.
Oh, I agree. Last of Us is an unnecessary remake.
Especially next year when they announce a remake of Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, hell yeah, we know we're getting that. We know we're getting that, ladies and gentlemen, but either way.
Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan is leaving Blizzard. Overwatch 2 still in development. This is from Liana Ruppert over at Game Informer. He writes, Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan has confirmed that he is leaving Blizzard after 20 years with the company. Kaplan has been at the epicenter of the Overwatch community since the beginning, providing inspiration for gamers with his journey from gamer to game dev, and facilitating a microcosm of fans that are unafraid to geek out and be a part of the Blizzard family. The news of Kaplan's departure is shocking, and it was revealed when the company took to the Blizzard blog to detail the change in leadership for Overwatch going forward. Though he's leaving the Overwatch community as game director, Blizzard promises fans that Overwatch 2 is continuing its development under the helm of Aaron Keller. Keller is a founding member of the Overwatch team, and he will be taking over Kaplan's role going forward. Quote, speaking of Overwatch 2, development is continuing at a good pace, Keller said. We have an exceptional vision we're executing on. The reaction from many of you to the updates we shared at BlizzConline thrilled us. And we have exciting reveals planned for this year and beyond as we ramp up to launch. We'll be sharing more frequent updates about Overwatch 2 progress and new features in the live game with you all very soon. End quote. Kaplan himself weighed in with his own personal note, saying, quote, it was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games, our game teams, and our players, but I want to say a special thanks to the wonderful game developers that shared in the journey of creation with me, end quote. Blizzard promises that a more thorough update is on the horizon. For now, we must say goodbye to Kaplan and everything he has done to keep the Overwatch community wholesome, hopeful, and... Wholesome? Really? Okay. Wholesome, hopeful, and excited for the future. The shake-up is a big one, and comes on the heels of a rocky several years for the company under Activision's helm. From censorship regarding the Hong Kong protests to an array of issues regarding transparency that was once a major focus for the company, the feeling of Blizzard and what it stands for has changed dramatically through the years. The major shift was felt when Activision abruptly laid off more than 800 employees despite a profitable year back in 2019. The studio's reputation took another hit when Activision turned around and immediately sought to hire double that number directly after the fact. Blizzard has always been revered as one of the closest communities in gaming, with major leadership shifts in recent years and Activision's financial push regarding several pivotal directional changes regarding the studio's philosophy. It's hard not to take the departure of Kaplan as a massive loss to what makes Blizzard so special. Jeff Kaplan was Overwatch. He was the face of I know you didn't really play it. As someone who was a part of Overwatch for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Jeff Kaplan was Overwatch. He was the face of Overwatch. Every time there was an update about Overwatch, every time anyone from Blizzard was like telling you about Overwatch and the future of Overwatch, it was Jeff Kaplan who was doing it. So this is unusual that there's a new Overwatch. I mean, it's unusual that there's an Overwatch 2 to begin with, but that it's not out yet and he's leaving before it's done is unusual.
Is that a worry for you?
Well, I mean, I haven't played Overwatch in a while. I wasn't really like Overwatch 2 is not really like on my radar. Like, if that makes sense, anything more than I'll try it when it comes out. Like I think it's an unnecessary product, but like if I was into it, if I was like hyped for it, like being a former like member of the community, I guess, like yeah, that would worry me. Like if Jeff Kaplan had have left Blizzard while I was embedded in Overwatch, that would have worried me. So yeah, I guess it would worry me now. Combined with all of the things we've heard about Activision Blizzard in the last couple of years.
Yeah, like the article says, like it's been a rough, bumpy few years for them since their full merger, obviously with Activision and everything. So they are obviously up and down for a lot of people. Like we're very mixed on them in general, and I think just for a lot of their practices and how they treat their staff in general and everything. But for people who like are huge fans of Overwatch and everything like that, I understand like they were hyped when the Overwatch 2 was announced and everything to hear that the guy behind Overwatch has left, knowing the game isn't out yet, that probably would be a big sign of worry and everything. It was like the same thing when you heard like the big people who left, like when left BioWare when the Anthem was coming out, everyone was just like,
Mass Effect Andromeda was coming out.
Mass Effect Andromeda's come out, etc., etc. This is actually probably more huge than it's meant to be, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe they've had a disagreement, and he's just like, I don't like the direction they're going here. And Activision are butting in like crazy, saying, no, we're going in this direction. This is what we want to do. And he maybe doesn't agree with it. Like, yeah, this is me just speaking hyperbole. I might be completely wrong here.
No, like, it's been a question that's been on my mind, but I've never really had the opportunity to sort of ask it and talk about it. Yeah. Of like, what is Overwatch 2 for? Like, I get it, right? It's an Activision Blizzard product. It's for making money, right? But like, it's not. This isn't Blizzard's way, right? Like, Overwatch is still is a popular game that a lot of people still play, and like normal Blizzard, right? Like, let's just throw out Activision for a second. Normal Blizzard would just keep supporting that game because that's how they work, so their fans know that's how they work. Like, you never have to worry. You wouldn't, like, under normal circumstances, you would never have to worry about Blizzard suddenly going, no, Overwatch is done. And then it's like, they announced Overwatch 2, and I think, okay, fair enough. Maybe they want to make some changes to Overwatch. Maybe, like, they've got a lot of ideas that they want to put in a sequel to Overwatch. But then it's like, well, no, like everything from Overwatch is still going to be in Overwatch 2, and then there's going to be like some extra characters and some extra maps, and like apart from like money, like why? What's the point? Like you do this. You could just have an Overwatch expansion, but then that's not a sequel. So like I have a lot
of big Overwatch is gone,
I have a lot of questions aimed at Blizzard, but because there's Activision is the first part of that title, like I already know the answers to them, if that makes sense. And that in and of itself is a bit of a worry because it's like, well, we read that article a couple of years ago, by Jason Schreier when he still worked at Kotaku about like the changing culture at Blizzard, like and how much like influence and control the Activision part of that was like exerting on Blizzard. And Overwatch 2 to me seemed like, oh, that's how much influence Activision is exerting over Blizzard.
Yeah. If they, like I said, they should have just done an expansion. And this is the thing about it. It would have sold incredibly well. Overwatch is still an incredibly popular title. Yes, it may not be as mainstream as what it was when it came out years ago and everything like that, but everything dies down a little bit. It always does.
Blizzard fans are ride or die. Like, they always have been.
So it was always going to sell incredibly well and everything. And arguably, if they just did an expansion, probably would have got the hype back up on it if it was a good expansion and everything. So it is an incredibly We're like, it's not a weird thing. We know why they're doing an Overwatch 2. It is for money reasons. And I think this is going to, I'll tell you right now, if you think the microtransactions and everything like that were devious on that game, wait until Overwatch 2 comes out, because I think that's going to slap people right in the face. And Activision are like, we got you, Marks, and we know we got you, type of thing. They know that. They know that.
Activision looks at, it does feel, and it makes me feel so uncomfortable. But like, yeah, it does feel like Activision is looking at like that dedication that Blizzard, like the Blizzard fan base has for their games, and he's just rubbing their hands together and thinking about the amount of money they can squeeze out of them. It makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. But
it's a multiplayer game that won many game awards when it came out, and that's an impressive feat, because like, I was like, wait, really, a multiplayer game? Seriously? Come on, guys. For me personally, but that's just me. I'm not a bit the game didn't not my type of thing.
250 hours in the game, like.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it. It's like they know they've got people here, and they know they're going to get it. They get Activision know they've got the gamers. They know they have. Call of Duty is one of the best-selling games consistently every year. If you're a casual who was like, oh, they're doing Overwatch 2. Oh, I haven't played Overwatch 1 for a while, everything like that, but you're keeping an eye on certain things, I would be worried that this guy has left. When you're a ride-and-die Blizzard guy or person, you don't give a flying hoot at all, and you know you don't.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be worried. Like, I'm worried because like Blizzard is a legacy company, and their name means something. So I've been worried about.
Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Not anymore.
They haven't reached that buy away yet. Their games are still good. So I'm gonna get a mini drum set. When we move in and get.
That's why. That's why they're bringing the Mass Effect trilogy. They know that was a great trilogy. That's why they're bringing it back.
Yeah, but like, you know what? Like, show me your next new game, BioWare. Like, give me your next new game, and then we'll talk. Like, you re-releasing like one of the most beloved trilogies on the face of gaming doesn't mean you're back. It just means you've re-released some amazing games that were already amazing. And
this is how much of a mark I'm going to be, ladies and gentlemen. I can guarantee this trilogy is probably going to be in my Game of the Year list at the end of the year.
After all the shit you gave me about Among Us, you have to know I'm gonna send that all back to you. For that.
But it released this year, though, Amy. It released this year, so it's all right. Among Us released in 2018. Nope. Don't give a flying hoot.
Nope. 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 I'm not letting that pass.
No, Amy, for all you know, because we'll probably be still playing by the end of the day, I'm probably going to put Among Us in my Game of the Year this year.
My Game of the Year this year is Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. The newest of which came out in 2012.
That'll be the last day I'm on the podcast list, Joe.
2012 beats 2018, I'm just saying. I deleted a story because I put it in there because Foxes was going to maybe be here, but he's not. So we'll
fuck you, Foxes. You don't like us anymore. Fuck you.
It's fine. It's fine. Ignore him.
Well, he won't even listen to this. He won't have heard me say that. He's heard me call him worse.
He will, because I'm going to clip it and send it to him. Gearbox, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple oppose Texas anti-trans law. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, several games and tech companies are among those fighting back against proposed legislation in Texas that the group argues is discriminatory. The law at the heart of this is the Fair Sports for Women and Girls Act, or Texas Senate Bill 29, which passed in the state Senate last week. If passed, transgender public school students would only be allowed to participate in athletic competitions with those who match the biological sex on their birth certificate. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Borderlands studio Gearbox Entertainment are among more than 40 companies who signed an open letter voicing concerns over the bill, with one member of Gearbox even stating the company would consider relocating if it's passed. The group, all of which have Texas-based businesses and staff, decried the, quote, resurgence of efforts to exclude transgender youth from full participation in their communities, adding that it will continue to oppose any unnecessary divisive measures that would make our customers, our visitors, and our employees and their families feel unwelcome and unsafe. We urge policymakers to continue to focus their good work on fostering a state that works for everyone and welcomes everyone. The letter concludes. PC Gamer reports that David Najab, Gearbox Software's Director of Institutional Partnerships, was among those who gave testimony during a recent hearing before the Texas House of Representatives, saying the company could consider moving to another state. Quote, "Our game company is in competition worldwide. We sell more to Asia than we do in the United States. We bring a lot of money into this state. We're headquartered here. Don't drive us to where we have to start expanding outside of Texas and outside the country," end quote. Najab also compared the proposal to previous legislation that would have seen trans people only allowed to use bathrooms open to the sex they were assigned at birth. Speaking to US news outlet NCBDFW, he said, quote, "Make no mistake about it, we are risking a return to the bathroom bill days of 2017. Just like the bathroom bill, we are presented with solutions that are looking for problems," end quote. Wow.
Just want to be frank here. Fuck Texas.
Texas.
And then this is crap. This is terrible. No, I don't mean the company's arguing against it here. I mean the cut. I'm messing this up, and I'm not meant to be doing this in a good way. I'm messing this up.
Just take a breath, take a moment, recenter yourself.
Fuck Texas.
Fuck Texas.
Texas, these are incredibly important companies, and if they leave, that could really hurt your economy around your area and everything, even though you are basically very self-sufficient and everything, and I give respect to that. But fuck you. Like, seriously, fuck you. And, I never thought I would say this, but, respect the Gearbox. You may have a dickhead as your owner, but respect the Gearbox.
So you say, oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying this is about... I am. Like... Now I have conflicting feelings about Gearbox.
Yeah,
Hold on a moment. Let's just all take a second. No, for real though. Like, this is really cool to see. Like, it may just be performative, but like, Moody, there's not that many of us, and like this kind of stuff is happening on a daily and weekly basis, and like we kind of need like companies like this or like our allies to actually stand up and do things. Like, this is kind of the heart of what frustrates me a lot about a lot of things that happen. Like, the one that's most relevant to this podcast was when I kind of let fly about J.K. Rowling, and the way people were sort of treating the Hogwarts Legacy video game. In that, like, we kind of need our cis allies to do something. It's great saying that, J.K. Rowling sucks online, but like, that's not going to stop bills like this from becoming a thing. Like, there's a bill, I don't know if it's passed or not in America, where they want to do genital inspections on kids before they let them into changing rooms. Like, in the UK, like the LGB Alliance, which is a hate group, has just been granted charity status. Like, things are really bad, and like we need people to do more than just point and say this is bad. Like, Gearbox saying we might have to move out of Texas because of this is good. Like, people, like, even small stuff like writing to your MP or putting your pronouns in your bio, like all that kind of stuff is better than just saying J.K. Rowling is bad now. Like that.
Yeah. No doubt about it. What you said is spot on there. Like, if this is a thing that you consider as a should not happen, ladies and gentlemen, you need to get in contact with your MP and literally tell them, you don't do what you want to do. You do what I want you to do. We're the ones we voted you in. You need to tell them, this is wrong. You should not be passing these type of bills. People are people. Whatever sex they want to be called, whatever. They are who they are wanting to be. You do not choose what they want to be. Anybody. Go fuck yourself to anyone who thinks who think otherwise.
Yeah, it's like it's an insta-block from me. I don't have the patience anymore. Like, it was a couple of years ago, but someone in another community I was a part of started retweeting this whole fucking sports anti-trans nonsense bollocks, and I just blocked them on site. I don't have the patience to try and educate people anymore. Because generally, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, they don't want to be educated.
Yeah.
So
You don't.
if you don't, that's cool, fine. Like, I just move on with my life.
Yeah.
And play video games to take my mind off it. Speaking of playing video games to take my mind off of it, Xbox Live Gold requirement removed for free-to-play online multiplayer. This is from Jordan Ollerman over at IGN, who writes, Xbox has detailed its plans to make online multiplayer and free-to-play games available to Xbox users who don't have an Xbox Live Gold subscription. A blog post on the Xbox website explains that starting today, players will be able to access online multiplayer in over 50 free-to-play games with no Xbox Live Gold membership required. There's a list out there in the wild that you can check. The list includes Fortnite, Apex Legends, Rocket League, Roblox, Destiny 2. Brawlhalla, Warzone, It Takes Two, and World of Tanks are also on there. Xbox says that the list of free-to-play games will be updated as more free-to-play games launch.
Good. About time. Should have happened years ago. Personally, you shouldn't be hiding. Yeah. This is I'll say this. This is just the bare minimum they've done. Personally, I still say they should. No company should be hiding internet, but multiplayer, anything centric behind a paywall whatsoever. Because I can play multiplayer games on my PC anytime I want, and I don't get blocked by payments saying I have to be on gold or anything. I can play them anytime I bloody want, and no. PC. I'm not meaning it as a PC world supreme or anything like that, but no, this is the thing about it. Like, what if I can do it? Why can't Amy do it? Why can't our friends of ours can do that and everything like that on their consoles who love consoles and everything? Come on, Xbox, you should be going further. Same goes for you, Sony. You should be getting rid of that thing altogether. Sony, you were already doing this. At least I'll give you some mad respects for that. You were already doing this before even Microsoft. But you should be going back to that. PlayStation 3, that was completely free. Altogether.
Or Xbox, because I remember playing Halo. If that wasn't the case on Xbox original, I was going to say Xbox One there. No. On the original Xbox, I would never have been able to play Halo 2 as much as I did because I was in university.
You need to get it's crap. I can understand why you did it years ago, but now it's not the time. It's like, come on, man. This is the thing time. Just to get rid of it now, this type of thing. You are pushing Game Pass incredibly well. You barely even talk about Xbox Gold anymore, Xbox. You barely talk about it.
Like, it paid for multiplayer infrastructure on the Xbox 360, right? And the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. But, like, in terms of Nintendo and Xbox, there's really nothing massively stopping them from making online multiplayer as a whole free. Because... Like, they have now online subscription offerings which give benefits. Like, if you were buying Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you're not buying it because it's got gold. You're buying it because you get Xbox Game Pass on PC and Xbox and your phone. Yeah. And, like, Nintendo Switch Online has a big library of old NES and SNES games, like, attached to it. I was playing Super Mario Brothers for footage capture for my control video. It'll all make sense, don't worry. Not that long ago. So, like, it makes
random.
Sense.
I can't wait to see this video now.
But both of those companies could continue to have these subscriptions going. Just take away the part where you needed to play multiplayer. Jesus fucking Christ! I mean, we had to wait. Like, one of the reasons me and Moody had to wait to play Monster Hunter online together was because I had to wait to get paid so I could buy Nintendo Switch Online because I hadn't had it for ages because I didn't need it.
Yeah. Come on. All of them. You need to get this sorted.
That shouldn't have been a thing. Like, I shouldn't have had to buy Nintendo Switch Online to play Monster Hunter Rise with my friend. And PlayStation, I'm sure you're going to do something eventually. Like, PS Plus is cool, but I don't know if I'd subscribe just for PS Plus.
I can literally see when we're in our own place, we're going to be literally going. So, really, you're going to have it all set up on your PC, right? Just to record, at least.
No, like
when it comes to streaming and everything, it's going to be all on your.
It'll literally just be like, Moody, you going to bed? You're not using the computer anymore. I'm just going to slide across and start video editing because your computer's way faster than mine.
That's fair. I get some Adobe software on my thing then.
I don't know. I'm like, once this control, like I said to myself. Especially like after the news with Adobe a few weeks ago, it's like once I have finished this Control video. I need to move away from Adobe, like onto something like better, like made by a better company, because it's not very good software for starters. But
Just so you know, I get it for free as a student.
also, Adobe sucks. As a company. I mean,
Next thing.
Tales of Arise gets a lengthy gameplay showcase and September launch date. This is from Sean Prescott over at PC Gamer, who writes, originally scheduled for a 2020 release, Tales of Arise now has a firm release date, September 10th, 2021. Alongside that announcement is a substantial chunk of footage from the installment, and it's a marked visual improvement over 2017's Tales of Berseria, which was a fucking great game. Oh, that's so underrated. While the series has always flaunted an anime-inspired art style that doesn't exactly aim for realism, the footage is definitely more detailed and elegant than we've seen before. The ground textures in particular are more ornate, the sand and rocks don't just look like carpet, and the combat UI is far less busy than the usual JRPG fare. Arise is meant to be a reboot of sorts for the series. Speaking to Famitsu back in 2019, producer Yusuke Tomizawa acknowledged that new Tales of games needed to work harder to appeal to, quote, young users, end quote. Hence the move to Unreal Engine 4. That said, the move wasn't born of a desire to embrace photorealism, quote, it is completely new in order to draw unique graphics that look like watercolors and models of familiar characters while having rich lighting and a feeling of air, Tomizawa said. Fire for Bitsu. It's time. It's time. It's time for a new Tales game. Oh,
Tales always do well. I won't lie. Like I think I've never really got round to any of them or anything like that because I think they've just come out too late, and I'm just like, oh god, this is like
you might actually like. I was about to say something, but then I thought, no, actually, you might actually like that. Like they're very JRPG. Like they're.
I don't mind. I don't mind very JRPG.
They're very JRPG. Try out if you ever get the chance, try out Tales of Berseria. It's a fucking great game.
I don't think I'll get around to do that. I think I might just wait until this comes out and everything give this a crack.
When we live together. And I'm forcing you to try games.
I think I'm gonna rethink moving in with you.
Nah, I thought but yeah, like Zestiria came out in 2016 and then Tales of Berseria came out in 2017, and Berseria was a big step up from Zestiria. So then it was like, cool, like this was such a great game. I can't wait for the next one. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. Please.
So that means hopefully they've got something really good here for you and everything. Yeah. I love what they said. Like, I can understand why they've moved over to the Unreal Engine 4 for the younger users. I don't think the younger users really give a flying hoot about Unreal Engine or what engine it's been on personally, mate. But no, for art style alone, it's obviously Unreal Engine 4 is a lot more easier thing for art style alone.
Even in 2017, Berseria looked kind of dated.
Yeah, so yeah, they've done a good idea moving over to the Unreal Engine 4. I'm guessing after this one, it's going to be Unreal Engine 5 after this one and everything. Yeah. But yeah, well done, congratulations. Looks good to what I saw. I am a little hyped. Won't be picking it for my.
So hyped. You're like as September draws closer, Moody. Like you're gonna catch some of that hype from me, just being like Tales is like coming soon. I'm a massive Tales fan. I remember when Tales of Symphonia came out on GameCube. Like there was a full page advert for it in Edge magazine. I think I was reading at the time, and it looked really interesting. But I was in uni and I was broke all the time. So I was like, hey, my parents always ask me for a Christmas list. I'll put Tales of Symphonia on it. Like a rare, like something that in the West is quite rare to find. Like a niche JRPG. At the time, they were difficult to find. Somehow they pulled it off. I don't know how. Like, because it would have been like hard for me to get hold of anyway. Like as a savvy gamer, but like they managed it. So I got Tales of Symphonia for Christmas, and I was like, "This is fucking the best." I loved it so much, and I've been in ever since. So Tales of Arise coming out is just like to just randomly. I opened Twitter, I think yesterday it was, and saw the tweet, and was just like, "It's like the GIF, the Office GIF." Oh my god! Okay, it's happening. Like it's happening. Are you bothered about The
Nope.
next, okay. So F1 2021 is coming this summer and has co-op. This was specifically asked for by Moody. That's literally all I wrote in the show notes. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, F1 2021 official video game has been announced. Codemasters are bringing back a brand new story mode entry into it, introducing Breaking Point, a brand new story mode. You'll rise from the ranks of F2 and take a shot at stardom in F1. We're going to give you an experience of a lifetime, both in and off the track, as you take the seat in the pinnacle of motorsport. You're gonna love it. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. There's now 2-player co-op career mode. And you know what that means, Amy. We're going to be teaming up, and we're going to be driving around, teaming up, beating the Haas, which shouldn't be too hard, beating Williams with how George Russell drove the last race, shouldn't be too hard.
He drove fine, he just hit a puddle. It happens.
Getting past Bossarts shouldn't be too hard. Get past Verstappen and Hamilton, that might be hard. But no, the rest of them, schmucks, a lot of them. I can't wait for this, Amy. I think this is going to be excellent. I can't wait just to stream this review as well.
You
I'm
know
going to be like, eh.
But you realise, like, if we're teaming up, it'll be like Hamilton and Rosberg. Right?
I don't think it will be, because if I know you're fast enough, I'll let you go and I will hold the rest of the pack up to get you to give you that time.
It will be, because I know myself. And I know you, and I know what we're like.
Oh, God.
Like,
you
remember It Takes Two, right? I know we haven't played it for a little while. We will play it next week. Like, you remember what we were like in It Takes Two?
Yeah.
Translate that into F1 2021.
Oh, God.
You know what's going to happen.
We're going to be Bottas and Russell, aren't we?
Yes, we are going to. But yeah, you're right. Probably. Last news story. It's a fun one. I thought we'd end with this week. This hobbit baked millions of pies to hit max level in Lord of the Rings Online. This is from Stephen Messner over at PC Gamer, who writes, "The Lord of the Rings Online has been around for 14 years, and in that time players have slain countless orcs, goblins, and the occasional Balrog. Naturally, the MMO gravitates toward the more adventurous and violent aspects of Tolkien's universe, but one player has managed to reach level 130 in the most hobbit way possible, baking millions of pies. His name is Cooking with Sim, and he's a hobbit on the Evernight server. Every day for the past 8 months, Cooking with Sim has been either in the kitchen or out collecting ingredients to make pies, using the pittance of experience points you get to slowly inch his way toward max level. It's a mission that would have likely required baking at least 1 million pies. This remarkable in-game achievement happened about 9 days ago, with players gathering in-game to celebrate as Cooking with Sim earned the final bit of the 205,829,281 XP he needed to bake across the finish line. That mini celebration was shared on the Lotro subreddit, where other players marvelled at Cooking with Sim's persistence. I feel the only way Tolkien would have approved more is if you could level through storytelling, wrote one player. Moody, I've just had a great idea for an MMO. To the oven and back again, A Hobbit's Tale, wrote another.
That sounds like Overcooked 3. Team 17, you got that for free.
Yeah, you got that one for
please
free.
hire me.
I'll sell out.
This sounds awesome. Yeah, I'll sell out as well. Yeah, this sounds awesome. Crazy. Like I don't have the persistence for this. Mad respect to this person. But he's obviously found a world that he is just like, this is awesome. This was relaxing. Yeah. I enjoy this, and respect to him.
I can imagine
mad respect.
It was a case of like, well, I've done the quests and the raids or whatever in Lotro. So like, how can I get a max level character like in a really interesting, like a really quirky way? And it's just like, I'll just bake pies. It is the most Hobbit thing to do. Like, yeah. Like I'm just gonna reach
go on an adventure, then come back just to live the rest of your life,
and then just bake pies. I'm gonna open a pie shop. It's gonna be great. Like, and I'm max level. Like, you know, all these chumps out there that went out and fought the Balrog and like killed all the orcs and goblins, and I'm just sitting here baking pies, and we're both the same level. Take that. Yeah.
Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you try and nick one of his pies, he's probably more powerful than you. So just so you watch out. So pay up when he's selling you a pie. Pay the fuck up. But yeah, there's mad respect to cooking with Sim. Cooking with Sim. Mad respect. Mad respect.
I tried LOTRO once when I was looking around for a new MMO. Like, I didn't stick with it, but like the idea of it was always interesting to me.
I'm gonna be fascinated that if we find a MOBA that we click with, you and me click with, it's gonna be fascinating. But we'll see one day. We'll see one day.
The idea behind this one was interesting. Like, it followed, like there were like the expansions that came out were like parts of like the Fellowship's journey to Mount Doom. So like there was an expansion would come out, and it's like that. At this moment they're in the mines of Moria, you know, doing their thing, which I always found really fascinating.
Cool.
It was an interesting way to adapt Lord of the Rings. Certainly better than before Shadow of Mordor. Certainly better than most of the games that try to adapt it. I'm having flashbacks. I've played some of them.
I can see that.
They're not great. They're not great.
Well, Amy, it's time for your pee break. So it's time for games out next week, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to start with April 28th, Second Extinction, coming out on the Xbox Series and the Xbox One. It's a game preview as well. Big map, big dinosaurs, big guns. There, that's our soldier game. That's all you're going to get. Facing the ever-changing threat level with your friends. Second Extinction is an online FPS with bite. I feel like this was a game that was shown at the IGN one.
It was at the one of the Xbox things. It might have been the first one.
I thought it was the IGN one. Okay.
It might
have been. I remember a dinosaur one getting shown at IGN, and I won't lie, I'll just go be frank, it didn't look good.
It's in Game Pass, Mooney. You can check it out if you want.
Maybe. Nah, probably not. April 29th in some... Oh, can you say that for me?
Insurmountable.
Thank you very much. Box asked me to say that word one more time. Okay, confront various terrains as a lonely mountaineer and endure the countless dangers of climbing. Many... is it meant to be said like that?
Climbing,
yeah. I thought I said slang. I got said climbing.
You can pronounce climbing. The B if you want. It's there.
Yeah, climbing. Many tough decisions await you in a risky environment. Make your way up and down the mountain, overcome unsurmountable heights. Insurmountable heights, not unsurmountable heights. I got there. I always do, ladies and gentlemen. I always do. Legend.
Is that a sex joke?
Insurmountable is also coming in PC. Legends of Keepers, PC, Nintendo Switch, and Google Stadia. Remember that, Legend of the Keepers is the perfect mix between dungeon management and roguelite. You have been hired as a dungeon manager by the Dungeons Company. Your job is simple: protect their dungeons. Seems simple. April 30th, Returnal, PlayStation 5. After crash landing on the shape-shifting world, Selena must search through the barren landscape of an ancient civilization for her escape. Isolated and alone, she finds herself fighting tooth and nail for survival again and again. She's defeated, forced to restart her journey every time she dies. And going off the trailers, she goes a little bit crazy. Let's down. Just so we know.
I mean, you would, right? If you died over and over again. Like,
well, the guy Hades seems like he was all right with it.
But he lives in hell, right? Like, he's
that's
probably got a different psychology.
That's fair. That's fair. New Pokemon Snap, Nintendo Switch. Seek out and take game photographs of Pokemon in their native environments in the new Pokemon Snap game, only for Nintendo Switch. Snap photos for the Neo One. As Neo One? Okay, as you.
The name of the camera.
Okay. From the Neo One, as you encounter the researched lively wild Pokemon. That does sentence and sound right, but whatever. You might see unexpected experiences and behaviors, Pokemon patrolling their territory, playing and lurking in and out of the wear spots. The Pokemon Snap game. Take photos of Pokemon.
Like, I wish I had the time to play it, but I don't. So that's one of those difficult decisions that I've talk about a lot. Where it's like sometimes I have to make difficult decisions about my time, and one of them is I might have to wait a bit to play Pokemon Snap.
I have no interest. I have no fish. I love Pokemon. I'm getting the remakes of Diamond and Pearl later this year. I can't wait for those games. Snap never. Nah, I was like, really? You want to go out and take a photo of a Pokemon instead of
Hell
throwing a
fucking
Pokeball,
yeah.
then training it to beat the shit out of another Pokemon.
Do you want to know what one of my favorite parts of Pokemon Sword and Shield was, Moody?
Taking the photographs on it.
It was when you were at the camp and you camped and the Pokemon were running around. You could throw
That
the
was
ball
awesome.
and pet
That
them.
was awesome.
So like you say like, oh, battles, and I'm just like, you know what? Those weren't really a draw for me. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Pokemon Snap is definitely more my kind of Pokemon
That's
game.
true. May I ask what your thoughts on Returnal? It's getting some interesting things.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, not hugely hyped for it, but like, interested to play it. I can't wait to try it, but like, I'm not. I don't want to say like I'm not frothing at the mouth for it, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I understand that. But I won't lie, if we were in our own place or something like that, I'd be renting that shit straight away and be giving that a go. It looks awesome. I was already hyped for that game. I was thinking that looks awesome.
Why don't you just rent it now, Moody?
God. I'm looking at it. Are you going to let me your PlayStation 5, are you?
It must be really annoying. Like, for you, it must be really annoying to, like... So you're really excited. Like, you in an equal world, you're really excited for Returnal, and you're really excited for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And you don't have a PS5, and then I'm sitting here with a PS5, sitting like right there, like I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm not that bothered.
I know that's really funny. That
Returnal or Ratchet, like whatever.
But apparently, Returnal is Hades meets Control meets Metroid. Amy, those are like your type of things.
I saw who said that, and I respect them. However, I have an 80+ minute video coming out that will explain in great detail why the combat wasn't necessarily the thing I love about Control the most. Like, the combat is fantastic. But when it's like, the tweet actually says the best parts of Control, and I'm like, I guarantee you it does not include the best parts of Control for me. It's time for OpenCritic head-to-head. This is the game we play every single week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points, unless Amy's being a bitch. You're messing with
I like how you were very specific there and spot on at the same time.
Spot on, right? Like, I'm self-aware. Like, I have a lot of self-awareness.
That's true.
So 2 weeks ago, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of MLB The Show 21, but there were no reviews out because I did it early because I wanted to... There wasn't anything coming out that week, so I just thought we'd get MLB The Show in. Foxes was here for both of the games that we're going to talk about this week. So MLB The Show 21, I guessed it would get an 85. Moody guessed it would get an 84. Foxes guessed it would get an 83. At the time of recording, MLB The Show has an OpenCritic average of 78, which caught me by surprise.
Woefully, yeah. All three of us were woefully away. And Fox just gets lucky because it was in the...
Yeah,
it went below his, that's all.
Below, right? So, like, he staked out that low ground. So he gets 3 points for that because I gave him a multiplier. And I gave him a leg up, Mooney. I gave him a leg up to get back into the race. I didn't do what I did with Keith, where I just shot him out into the lead. I just wanted to give him a little bit of it, and then he doesn't turn up to try and take advantage of that and catch up with us.
Yeah.
Disappointing. But no, like, for real, I understand why he's not here. It's cool. But, you know, when you're not here, Moody knows this. Like, when you're not here, I'm going to take shots. It's just how it works. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Nier Replicant. I guessed it would get an 86.
There's another part of the end of the name, Amy. You're missing the full name of Nier Replicant.
I said I was only going to do it once.
I tried. I
guessed it would get an 86. Moody guessed it would get an 89. Foxes guessed it would get a 90. At the time of recording, Nier Replicant has an OpenCritic average of 82. I'm glad I stuck with I don't normally stick with my instincts, gut reactions on this game. And I did last week because when I saw you and Foxes go high, I was like, you know what? This isn't being made by Platinum. I don't think it's going to be as highly rated as Nier Automata. I'm going to pitch low. And it worked. So.
Yeah. I went off the hype because of the Automata. I won't lie. I don't know much about I didn't even realize it was a prequel and it was a remake of a game or remaster of a game that was very mixed for a lot of people. I think you said on the podcast. So, yeah. If I knew that, I would have shot lower, way lower. I would have gone poise 80.
the story was like hailed
God
quite
tier.
big. Yeah, it was
God
god
tier,
tier
yeah.
apparently, but the gameplay wasn't great, and the gameplay was what they were meant to fix. So like, it was just as valid thinking, hey, this might carry on from that Nier Automata. It was I didn't know that who was developing it until Fox was asked on the podcast last week, and I was like, oh, it's not Platinum. It was like I said, it was a gut reaction. I was aiming for around about the 89 to 90 mark myself. So
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
put it
kinda
on
like
my fantasy critic team for that reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Bravely Default 2 situation, wasn't it? Because that wasn't developed by the original developer of Bravely Default. So even though we love Bravely Default too and everything like that, but yeah, it's like that similar situation. But yeah,
So that puts the current scores: Amy 6, Moody 6, Fox's 3, Keith 10, and 2 draws. I'm gonna feel every time I say Keith's score, like until one of us catches him, I'm just gonna feel this like chill. It's like Moody's entire fucking face just tightens up. This week we're trying to guess the OpenCritic average of Returnal. Moody, what do you think? We don't have very much time.
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first? Okay, I think
Yeah.
it's gonna go. I'm going 83. That's where I'm gonna sit on this one.
84.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Did you just want me to go first so you could like press right up against my score? I've never done that to you on purpose.
You do that every episode.
No, I don't.
You have a choice. You could go in anywhere you want. But no, yeah. No, I was going to go 85. I won't lie. I've dropped down a little bit just to be that little bit closer. So we don't get a draw basically at the same time.
That's
so
So what you're telling me is next week one of us is going to be in second place.
I won't lie, though. I was kind of hoping you would go a little bit higher for some reason. I was thinking she might go high. Yeah. No, she won't. She's not interested in this game. She's not going to go high.
That's not how I do things.
Yeah.
I picked Cyberpunk for my fantasy critic. Like my personal feelings in these games do not enter into my calculations whatsoever. I'm trying to read the reviewers and what they think. We've only had one. Sorry, like we've only had like 190 like plus OpenCritic game so far this year, and it's Disco Elysium, the final cut. So really, we haven't had one yet, which is kind of crazy to me. Like I would have thought by like almost May we would have had a game like get an average of above 90. I think we will in the next month though. Hollow Knight's getting a surprise release. No, I'm just kidding. Let's get out of here, Moody, because I don't know how long this podcast is running, but I think it's going long.
I think it's gone a little bit long as well, and I'm getting looks from my partner who's kind of saying I want to go to bed. So
shut up. Cool. Then I guess we are out of here because I still need to send you those things. So say bye, Moody.
Bye, Moody.